What is up, Kaiju fans? It has been a minute. Uh, oh well, things happen, but here I am. It's still 5/31/19. It's still the official release date of Godzilla 2. I just got back from my second viewing, an IMAX viewing, because they didn't start the IMAX viewings, at least around in my state, until 5:31. There was no 5:30. There was no Thursday night IMAX shows. So went last night with a group of friends to the first showings last night, and then we did IMAX today. I did IMAX today with a different group of friends. So I've got two viewings in so far. More on the way probably. Anna's in Japan right now, so she hasn't seen it yet. So I'll probably go see it with her when she gets back, and that'll be the third viewing, maybe more after that. Who knows? But that's a good sign from me, at least. If you guys are new here, welcome. I hate Godzilla 2014. So the fact that I want to go see this movie again after already seeing it twice is a great sign, if you know how much I dislike 2014. So in case you're wondering, I'm not going to hold back in the way I talk about this movie. So if you don't want to have anything spoiled, if you haven't seen it yet, then are you really a Godzilla fan? I don't know. So if you don't want to get spoiled for anything, you probably don't want to be here with me, at least. Go find something else to watch, probably. Wow. That's a good film. That's a good film for kaiju fans, action fans, Godzilla fans. It's what the fandom asked for after 2014. Disappointed a lot of people when there was the monster action was not very frequent. If it was the dumb, realistic camera angles that Gareth Edwards is obsessed with, where it's all human perspective. So any of the monster action in general was just like out of focus, at a distance, a news recap, something like that, where that's not what the fans wanted. And the human story was also not great. It had a lot of holes. The plot didn't make sense in general. And Aaron Taylor Johnson was a cardboard cutout. Uh, so this is kind of like the opposite of what that film was. It's so much monster action. Like, that's the main focus, is the monster action, which is what the fans wanted. On the flip side of that, film critics, because they're so good at their job, are rating the movie super low, but audience retention is extremely high. Fan reviews, general public reviews, all shoot the movie through the roof with reviews like 90%, if not higher, on scales. So that's a good sign. The human storyline in this still isn't fantastic, but I don't care, because it actually has monsters in this movie, if you can believe that. I know that's obscene to even consider after 2014, that this movie would have monsters in it. Crazy. So yeah, it's I really can't complain at this point. I don't even care. It's the American Godzilla movie that we've wanted. We finally have a good one. We finally have a good one. I'll just come out and say it. Was 2014 good? No. I've met so many people at this point. My cat's gonna come in here, apparently. I've met so many people that are not even Godzilla fans, that just get so bored watching that movie. I can't watch that movie and enjoy it. It's never a movie that I want to sit down and just watch, because it's not fun. This movie is all fun. That's all this movie wants to be, is fun. And that's great. That's awesome. It's also so jam-packed with Easter eggs and references to previous movies that I almost feel like it might take away from the casual audience, because they don't know, they're not going to understand those references, or it might seem out of place to them. But even like an advanced fan, like a diehard fan, like you and I probably would be consider ourselves, there's so many there that we probably don't even catch them all. Or maybe we do. I don't know. I can tell you that my second viewing through, I didn't pick up any other cameos or like references or Easter eggs or whatever that I didn't get the first time. So I don't think that it's an exposure kind of level there. I almost need to just be able to like go through the movie frame by frame at that point in order to see what's going on. Wow. Okay. But they're there. There's references. Could you be quiet? Cat scratching at the shells, which are over there now. There's so many references in the movie that I don't even. It's great. It's great. You could probably take the way I envision this or think of it at this point is that it's a little bit of every Ghidorah movie slammed into one, give or take. Ghidorah main focus movies, like not Godzilla vs. Gigan. And I would also say the only Ghidorah movie that I don't think is directly referenced in a way that's supposed to be visible is Invasion of the Astro Monster. But Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster is kind of the basis, obviously, with the kaiju cast. In case you didn't realize that. Crazy, I know. But Ghidorah fell from space and is an alien that fell from space. Didn't come voluntarily or whatever. I guess we don't know that. But fell from space. And the kaiju that we're used to fight Ghidorah because he's an alien force or whatever. That's kind of where that one went. Destroy All Monsters, kind of, with the way it's set up, Ghidorah is like the big bad or whatever, and all the other kaiju either follow or try to kill Ghidorah. That's kind of what I pulled away from that. It's not a direct reference like a lot of the other ones are. Godzilla vs. Ghidorah, 91. That film's plot is basically like this movie minus the time travel. Which is the greatest thing in the world, because I never thought that we were going to see another movie where King Ghidorah is basically a Godzilla replacement and Godzilla is dead and they have to blow him up with nuclear bombs in the bottom of the ocean with a submarine to bring him back to life. Because that is the fucking coolest plot that I have ever... I love that movie so much. And the fact that is in this movie. Godzilla's dead. Let's shoot him with nuclear bombs from a submarine and wake him up again. Why? It's so fucking great. I don't know. I lost my mind when that was the plot that was taking. I was just like, are you serious right now? You're gonna do that? You're gonna do that. Cool. Great. Good to know. The GMK references, they're not as obvious as that one is, but they're there. When they're originally discussing the mythos of Ghidorah, Monster Zero at that time, because they don't have like the updated mythos or whatever, so they're still talking about Monster Zero, which, you know what? Never mind. Monster Zero is the reference to shh. If you already commented that I'm an idiot, just remove it, because I know. But it's the mythos about the Ghidorah lore being transcribed in the stones in the earth, and if the stones in the earth could talk, then they would understand nature better, which is kind of like the ideology of Ghidorah, the 1,000-Year Dragon from GMK. Ghidorah's information, Ghidorah's soul is literally in the stones and the earth, which is why they have that stone that falls on Ghidorah that gives them the power up at the end of GMK. And obviously, the whole 1,000-Year Dragon arc where he's frozen in ice, I mean, that's the whole thing with Ghidorah in this movie, is that he's a dragon frozen in ice, like growing or whatever. He's probably trapped there in this universe. I mean, he's technically trapped in GMK too, so there's the other kind of like loose connection. Like, if you don't know what you're looking, if you don't know that already going in, or like you're not as versed with that movie, like if that movie isn't your favorite Godzilla movie, then you might not pick it up. luckily for me, Ghidorah is my favorite kaiju outside of Godzilla, so like everything Ghidorah related, I'm like, oh boy, oh, I love it. So advanced fans, casual fans might not pick that stuff up because they don't care that much about Ghidorah. I do, so at least I had that privilege going into this. If it was any other kaiju, I'd be like, yeah, sure, okay, cool. What's after that? But you never thought that they were going to reference Kaiser Ghidorah lore in this. You might be thinking, Pierce, what the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Ghidorah is an energy vampire in this movie, and where did that come from? Kaiser Ghidorah, the energy vampire. Why was Godzilla losing in Godzilla Final Wars? Because Kaiser Ghidorah was draining his energy and sucking him dry by constricting, biting onto him, and literally sucking out his power. What did I do in this movie? Why is Godzilla basically end up like almost losing after things happen that I love? We'll get to that in a minute. Ghidorah's wrapping around him, biting onto him, and energy vampiring him. There's that Kaiser Ghidorah reference. And those are just like the direct Ghidorah references that come to my mind right away. Obviously, the movie is jam-packed, so much of like references and Easter eggs to previous films that it would take like a frame-by-frame playthrough of the movie to actually like document all of them. Those are just the ones that come to my mind that stick with me the most. So yeah, Ghidorah's basically just Dio. If you have any idea what I'm talking about. Wow, so Ghidorah in this movie. Alien, great. Immortal, regrows heads. That's fucking nuts. Obviously, the losing the side head is also kind of like a callback to either the way that it happens in Godzilla vs. Ghidorah to 91 or Final Wars, he gets his head blown off as well. That's kind of like what we expect from Ghidorah at this point. The lightning from the tips of the wings. That kind of just like reminded me of Shin Godzilla. I don't know if that's what they were going with. There's a kind of like a little tribute to that. We'll never know unless there's some kind of like weird written documentation from the director like, oh yeah, that was a Shin Godzilla reference. I doubt that anything like that's ever going to happen, so I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but that's cool as hell. I just think Ghidorah in this movie is cool as hell. I mean, maybe I'm biased because Ghidorah is my favorite non-Godzilla, like non-directly Godzilla kaiju, so like I don't know. But holy shit, they did him justice. They pulled it off. They pulled off a Ghidorah. Godzilla in this movie actually feels like Godzilla. The redesign worked perfectly. The way he acts is great. Godzilla is Godzilla in this movie. Rodan is pretty cool. I don't know. He fits the Rodan. I don't like Rodan's roar. I don't know. There's supposed to be like recognizable. All the kaiju roars were supposed to be extremely recognizable to their previous incarnations, and all of them nailed it. Except for Rodan, just sounds entirely new and not like Rodan ever did. So that was the only thing I don't really like about Rodan is that like I don't hear the iconic Rodan roar or any permutation of it when he opens his beak. Man, I don't hear it. Whereas everybody else, I'm like, yep, that sounds right. Cool. That's Ghidorah. That's Mothra. That's clearly Godzilla because they just put in like previous Godzilla roars mixed in with the legendary ones that have already been made. Like that. Sweet. But Rodan, no. I don't get it from Rodan at all. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe if I could just listen to the roars alone without the explosions and the music and everything else going on, I might pick it up more because that's what I feel like might be the issue. Is that. But Rodan's definitely cool. I don't understand how the fire on his wings stays there until past Ghidorah's death, basically, and then he finally chills out from the volcano and he's not on fire anymore. I don't know how he stayed on fire that long. I don't know. Cool, whatever. Rodan's just really hot. Not fire Rodan, though, because they didn't license that. Just hot Rodan. Lava, volcano Rodan. Mothra. Oh my god. Why did they do this to you? I love Mothra's new design. I love it. I know that's the thing that people don't like about New Mothra, is the design of her. I think it's great. I think it makes it look like she could actually fight other kaiju for once. Like, actually. And that's exactly what they said we were going to get, is a Mothra that can fight other kaiju for once. And, like, actually throw down and be useful. Except all Mothra ends up doing is shining a spotlight on Godzilla, fighting Rodan and getting beaten up. I thought they were gonna save Mothra when she stung Rodan, and like Rodan faked to death. Apparently, faked to death. I was like, you know what? If Mothra killed Rodan, cool. I think Mothra's dope as hell now, and all of my previous disappointments in Mothra can just get washed away, and Mothra can be like, cool again to me. Nope, they did her dirty. Rodan didn't die from that. That was going to be the one redeeming quality. And then what does Mothra do? What Mothra literally always does. Jumps in front of somebody and dies. Could you not put Mothra in a Godzilla movie for once and have her win a fight and not die? Why couldn't they do that? Why can't they just do that? You know what I mean? Why can't Mothra win a fight and then not end up dying? In a Godzilla movie. I don't give a shit about Rebirth of Mothra, because like if you had Mothra lose in that, then the franchise wouldn't, then the trilogy wouldn't make any sense. I'm talking strictly Godzilla films where she doesn't sacrifice herself for somebody else to live and like lose a fight. At least they didn't literally just bring in more Mothra larvae to carry on the battle, like always like happens after that most of the time anyways. At least they didn't do that, but the one thing that I took away from that is at least it's a GMK reference. Because I love GMK. It's reverse GMK at that point. Where instead of Mothra guarding unconscious King Ghidorah from Godzilla sacrificing herself and then turning into literal dust and combining with the other kaiju, it's Mothra shields Godzilla from Ghidorah, turns into dust, and combines with him. Cool. I guess that's literally backwards GMK. I guess that's the only reason I'm okay with it. Should Mothra have lived? I still think so. I think that she should have lived. I think so. I don't like Mothra as a kaiju. I never have. And I'm mad that she died. I'm mad. I guess they did her justice in that sense. But seriously, you couldn't just let Mothra live for once? Okay. Never mind. Whew. Let's get to the heated question here. Bet you thought Burning Godzilla was going to be in this movie. I bet you still think Burning Godzilla was in that movie. But was Burning Godzilla in that movie? No. That was not a Godzilla vs. Destroyer reference. It wasn't. Because he didn't have the burning patches and he just had lava highlights on his body. And you want to know what the terminology they used in that movie? The exact terminology was critical mass. Now, what piece of content in the Godzilla universe involves power-up, lava lines on the kaiju's body, and literally the word critical mass for the state they're in? It's a Godzilla Unleashed reference. Bet you never thought that was going to happen. I sure as hell didn't. I was sold on it being Burning Godzilla until I saw it in the movie, and I was like, they just called it critical mass. It's a Godzilla Unleashed reference. Let me go bust out my Wii really quick and get up to date on my Godzilla Unleashed lore. What? Okay, cool. This movie's just a bunch of references to all the other media, and like that's fine. That makes it so much fun to watch. Now, what's the so I audibly yelled, "Please God no, why?" on my first viewing in two events. One of them was when Mothra participated in the classic sacrifice trope, because why? But there was one before that. And it was the Oxygen Destroyer. Why did they actually put that in this movie? why in the world did they actually put the Oxygen Destroyer in this movie? To do nothing. Is the quickest, most unexpected, and out of place reference that they could have possibly thrown in. I was hoping that all that stupid Oxygen Destroyer teaser stuff was just bullshit made up to spread hype or whatever, however many years ago that was, 1, 2, I don't know. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was literally in the movie, and they shouted at Godzilla and Ghidorah, and it didn't even kill Godzilla. Talk about the Oxygen Destroyer not even killing Godzilla. It just made him tired and run out of energy, so he had to go take a nap. I would have been happier if they wouldn't have even put it in the movie, because it didn't do anything for me besides just make me go, why did they do this? Just why? Why is it there? Why is it there? To be useless. Cool, thanks for downplaying the Oxygen Destroyer. And if its only purpose is to loop and destroy her, at some point, I'll fucking lose my mind, because that's bullshit. I literally never want to see Destroyer in this franchise. Like the Monsterverse franchise. I don't think it'd work. I don't think it'd make any sense. So I swear to God, if that's all that 3 seconds was there for, I'm gonna lose my mind. I like Destroyer, okay, but I think that the way that he was and the purpose that he served in Godzilla vs. Destroyer was a one-time deal, and he shouldn't be brought back. I don't think he should be brought back. He's not Ghidorah, right? He can't just get thrown into any universe. His creation is so specific that it only made sense in the Heisei era. So, if they use that to loop him in, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be so mad. Now, what takes place directly after that, the Gojira, Godzilla 1954, but in reverse, that was cool. Obviously, Gojira 1954, Serizawa goes down in the scuba gear to Godzilla with the Oxygen Destroyer to kill him, and then ends up sacrificing himself for that cause. This movie is the opposite. He goes down in the scuba gear to sacrifice himself to revive Godzilla. That's cool. That's an interesting way to send off a duplicate character, basically. Like, the same way, but with a spin on things. That's the way. If you want to bring back something plot essential from Gojira, do that. Not what you did with the Oxygen Destroyer. Don't do that. Because that almost feels like just like pointless. Pointless junk thrown in there. A lot of the other references had some kind of meaning or were subtle and not like in your face, which is why they were awesome. But not like, Oxygen Destroyer inbound. Don't do that ever again, please. I swear. Just don't. I don't think I can handle it again. Oh my god. Yeah. But besides those two things, the Mothra sacrifice and the Oxygen Destroyer, I loved every other minute of the movie. It's just those two, I was just like, why? Why? Which is, it's fine. I mean, we can't all love every second of every movie. That's not possible. Unless you're lying to yourself. Don't do that. That's not good. Wow. What a movie, though. Am I right? It's kind of my immediate thoughts on everything. Less of a review and me of more just talking about what I did and didn't like. 98% of the movie that I liked. 2% I didn't. That ending, though. The other Titans, though. Like, what? Okay. The Mist. The big spider from The Mist. We got that. That's there. That's apparently that's in the Monsterverse. You know what I'm talking about. Fake Kumonga with the tentacle face. You know what I'm talking about. Big turtle mountain dude. Cool. Sick dude. That's cool. I don't care. Spikier Muto that's like in between the two sizes of the other one. Not as small as the male Muto, but not as big as the female Muto, and not the same design as either of them because it's like the female one with like way more spikes on it. Okay, cool, sweet. I don't know how. What do you call that one? The gender fluid Muto because it's not the male or female one. What is it? Can someone explain to me what that Muto was supposed to be? Because it's not the female style, it's not the female size, it's not the male style, it's not the male size. It's like both at the same time. It's like they smashed them together. It's weird. I don't care. It's cool. Sure, whatever. I'm glad that they're just calling them Mutos now and not going with like the stupid fake name that is in the deep lore that nobody gave a shit about for 2014, because why care? They're Mutos, and everything else is Titans now. Thank you for finally giving them the name that everyone called them anyways. Sick. Now here's the interesting part. Giant mammoth gorilla. The hybrid. The giant gorilla with the mammoth head that obeys Godzilla at the end of the film because he's the king. How is that giant gorilla not as strong as Kong? If not stronger, because he has giant face weapons and a trunk that he can use as well as his big gorilla arms. If it were me, and I am me, I would just say that that's stronger Kong. Because it's literally the giant, super muscular, powerful ape body, but with an elephant trunk and elephant tusks. And if that thing obeys Godzilla as the king and is the apex predator, why doesn't Kong, right? I think that those two monsters should just fight, and I would put my money on the one with the mammoth tusks in the trunk, because like that's more weapons, that's more appendages right off the bat, along with the equal size and strength. That is, if Kong is that big, because that thing was huge, man. That's like that thing was almost as big as Godzilla, if not like wider. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you didn't catch how big it was the first time that last scene comes around and they all bow down to him, your next viewing, pay attention to how big he is when he walks up. He's huge. It's fucking huge, right? I wanted to see the turtle kaiju a lot more. The one that comes out of the mountain or whatever, that is like always behind Godzilla when they're doing that panning shot, so you can never see what he looks like, because they only show off the spider and the mammoth and then the Muto. Like, come on, man, show me the turtle dude. I like the turtle dude. Bring him in, loop him in. Is it a Komi Bass reference? Maybe. Kind of feels like off-brand Komi Bass, off-brand Kumonga, and off-brand King Kong. And then Muto were Godzilla's companions. And then obviously Rodan, which is alive apparently. He's apparently alive. Mothra didn't do shit. Big shocker. Crazy. I also like the fact that Godzilla has a pet Rodan. He should have like landed on his shoulder or something at the end and like chilled out there. That would have been fucking cool. So I don't understand how Kong is gonna do shit at this point. Like, I know the whole spiel that the director gave, like, oh, it's David and Goliath, and he's gonna use tools and shit, so that's why he's a match. If Mammoth Kong obeys Godzilla, King Kong should too, right? It's simple math, Guardian. I don't know. I'm really not even excited for Godzilla Kong at this point, because I don't think it's going to be a better movie than this movie. This movie just kicked so much ass the entire time that I'm fine. If this was the last movie in the Monsterverse and it ended with that sick fucking panning shot, sick. Cool enough. Good enough for me. I'd be like, yep, sick. That's the end of that universe. Godzilla's the ruler again. Shocker. Big surprise. Bet you didn't see that coming. Godzilla beating King Ghidorah. Imagine walking into a movie theater crowded of people ready to watch that movie and just go, oh, Godzilla kills King Ghidorah, and then be like, oh my god, why'd you spoil it? And you'd be like, because it already happened 9 times. Why wouldn't it? Literally 9. I think. I don't know. Somebody else count and tell me if I'm an idiot. I think it's 9. Now, after watching that, if you're still here, holy shit, why are you here listening to me talk still? My prediction for the plot of Godzilla vs. Kong, obviously they gave a little bit of an indication to that with the first credits cycle, with like the news reports of what happens after the movie, where Godzilla like restores the ecosystem and the other Titans like restore balance all over the planet or whatever the hell. It gave the title card that new Titans are showing up on Skull Island. It gave the card that there's an ancient rivalry. Cave paintings depict ancient rivalry between Godzilla and Kong species. And then the classic, what is a king to a god? That was in there too. Like, yeah, what is it? Like, holy shit. So what am I assuming is going to happen at this point? I'm going to assume that since they're both apex predators, and the apex predators only want to kill each other, I don't know why Kong didn't challenge Ghidorah. Is it because he's too weak to fight Ghidorah and somebody else wasn't? Kind of doesn't fit the apex predator lore that they just tried to establish there. If Kong didn't even give a shit and want to even fight Ghidorah because of what, he knew he was going to get his ass beat? Probably. So that's kind of upsetting, right? But is Kong going to have, like, his own army of kaiju, the ones that are rallying on Skull Island? And Godzilla's obviously going to have his current army with off-brand Kumonga, off-brand Komebass, and off-brand Kong. Are we literally just going to have a kaiju battle, like Godzilla's kaiju army versus Kong's kaiju army? Is that what's going to happen? Because that'd be pretty cool. I'd be okay with that. At least that's what I'm going with, at least. I want that to happen in, like, the way that it was ended and set up and all those title cards or credit cards played out. That's what I got the vibe of. And, I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. I think that they could do a lot with that. And why else would they introduce so many other Titans, like, around, like, following Godzilla or whatever, if they weren't going to play some kind of a role in Godzilla vs. Kong? Because they obviously weren't fodder Titans in this. They just followed whoever the apex was. They were all sizable, decent-sized kaiju that could do some serious damage. So I think that we're going to see some kind of, like, war between whoever thinks Godzilla is the apex and whoever thinks Kong's going to be the apex. I think that that's going to be the way that it goes. With some kind of odd twist, because obviously the end credit scene with the eco-terrorists having one of Ghidorah's heads, right? Now, since the main body of Ghidorah is destroyed, either I'm going to assume that what they're going to go with is either it's going that head is now going to regain the consciousness, like if Ghidorah is like kind of like some kind of spiritual, like his consciousness travels outside of his body like he's a ghost or whatever, because he got his head torn off, that head died, it regrew, and it had the consciousness of that head, the different personality, immediately back. Like, so that's weird, right? And you know it's the different personality because the middle one's picking on it like it always does. So is that head going to regain its consciousness, its personality, and then regrow the host body? Or is it going to stay dead, and are they going to use the DNA from that to, I don't know, create some other kaiju? Please don't fucking be Destroyer in some weird, twisted way. Just anything but that. Please, I swear to God, you could make me fucking... make Ghidorah before you do Destroyer out of that, because I would lose my mind because that wouldn't make any sense. Mecha King Ghidorah? I don't... Imagine that, right? They already did half the plot of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 91 minus the time travel. Like, put Mecha King Ghidorah in, man. I don't even care at this point. Let's do it. Let's put him in. Let's put him in. That's like the only other thing, right? They're going to make a new kaiju. The body's going to regrow, and Ghidorah's going to come back to life. Or they're going to make Mecha King Ghidorah, right? Those are my... Like, why else would they show that as the end credit scene and not, like, something to do with Kong or Skull Island or something else Godzilla's doing, right? Like, why is it Ghidorah again? And why is it the eco-terrorist group that was involved with outsourcing kaiju DNA and genetics for research into whatever the hell? They said, like, everything in that. So, if it has to be one of those three, right? Unless I'm missing something super obvious, then if you're still watching this at some point, congratulations. I don't know why you're here, but if you think it's for something else that actually makes sense, please write something that actually makes sense in the comments, not like something that like is they're gonna make Mechagodzilla out of Ghidorah's head. That wouldn't make any sense. All right, so please don't do something like that. Like, if you have an actual idea of what might happen, please enlighten me, because those are at least the three results I came to. Yeah, obviously the technology for Mecha King Ghidorah doesn't exist in this universe, but now aliens are confirmed because Ghidorah was an alien, so I don't know what the hell's gonna happen, right? Bring in Guy again. Send him in. Send in Guy again. Let's go. Chainsaws, please. I don't know. I really don't know what the purpose of that end credit scene was for, because that doesn't have anything to do with Godzilla vs. Kong. And since this movie wasn't a box office smash in opening weekend, if it doesn't just do incredible in the international and foreign markets, which Godzilla the 2014 did substantially well, and so did KSI in the foreign markets, because the Eastern world loves kaiju more than we do, obviously. So if it's not a financial success, then the MonsterVerse is dead in the water after Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. Unless they were banking on this movie doing incredible and setting that up something like way in the future after Godzilla vs. Kong, that'd be my fourth explanation, my fourth theory. Sorry if you already went down and typed that. I apologize. You can leave it there. I'll just ignore it, right? I don't know. I feel like I've rambled on for a long ass time about this. 36 minutes? Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think of the movie, what you did like, which probably is going to be a lot. I guess it would be easier for you to tell me what you didn't like. And then the thing that your favorite part. My favorite part? Ghidorah shooting fucking lightning out of his wings, Shin Godzilla style. That's never going to not be fucking sweet, right? So give me your favorite part of the movie, give you what you didn't like, and then obviously the third, your what the hell the after credit scene was supposed to represent in any way at all, right? So those three things. Do that, and I don't know, maybe I'll actually respond to it. If you just leave something stupid, I'll probably ignore it, because that's the point of my life that I'm in, right? So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I promise that I will actually do like a life update, a collection update, shit like that at some point, because like I'm not a college kid anymore. I'm just a young adult at this point. Fuck. I'm old now. Don't grow up, kids. It sucks. But that's it. That's gonna be it. Let me know those three things, and I will catch you next time in 6 years, right? Peace.